Starting the show. Hey, this Hangout's live because it's Wednesday and it's 1:15 Eric's butt.
What?
45 minutes till his. All right. I'm excited. This is going to be a good show. Lots of fun Android stuff to talk about. I know. I'm excited to learn all about this stuff you guys are going to tell me about right here on Attacking the Androids.
For centuries, we've been warned about little green men.
Now, they are coming. They're coming for you. Prepare for the attack of the Android.
Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Wednesday, August 26, 2015. This is episode 167, Tag the Androids, every week, Wednesday nights, tagtheandroids.com. Check it out. I'm Matt. That's Eric. What's up, Eric?
Doing fine, Matt. Doing fine.
Awesome. That's also Joey. What's up, Joey?
Joey, who's on mute, because that's the way most people like him. Things are going well up here in the northeastern corner of the U.S., and
Joey,
Matt is now smiling because he thinks that I'm an idiot.
You're gonna learn from that one day, and you're gonna realize, and you're gonna shorten things up, and then everyone's gonna be like, "We need more of that Joey guy." But until that happens, we also got Nick Carroll. What's up, Nick?
Hey guys, glad to be back.
Good to have you back, Eric. What is the first most important thing on this show document that you need to share with us in regards to Android?
Matt, we have a new alphabet letter this week.
Oh my goodness, I was waiting for this.
I know. It's very exciting. It's something you've heard about before, and it's the life sciences, so it's the letter L.
For lifestyles.
Sort of. Lifestyles, maybe if you're diabetic. This is a spin-off of the what was it, Google X Labs. What was the name of that weird thing?
Do
you know it?
Glass?
No.
There was a previous name for this project, but I don't remember what it's called. I think it's in the story.
Let's scroll down.
Mm-hmm.
I forgot it. So this was a spin-off of some other projects, and they all have to do around like people's health, making their life better. So we have the smart contact lens.
Calico.
Okay,
Calico?
so
Calico.
It was called Google Life Sciences before, and now it's just the Life Sciences company. So
Yeah. So it's all split off, and it's all its own thing. So this is going to be the alphabet letter that gives us nanoparticles and, maps
Smart
our body.
yeah, smart contact lenses, things like that. So yeah.
Cloning?
Maybe.
Potentially.
I like that.
This is a lot of the stuff that Ray Kurzweil was working on too, if I remember correctly.
They shuffled him around over to the L Sciences division.
That's right. He's an L. They actually walk around with the L on the forehead.
No, they have hats that mimic that, probably using nanotechnology.
It just their forehead sort of bumps into the shape of an L. It's very sad.
Yeah, well, you both look like all-stars because you've got that L on your forehead.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Oh,
Yeah.
they're trying to transform the way that we prevent, detect, and manage disease. Those of us that have hooker punch cards are looking forward to the preventing of disease.
Yeah, this will be the island of Dr. Moreau company. I think they'll get to design all their, they'll probably create the zombie virus, I'm sure, somewhere along the way. But it seems
bring the island to Dr. Moreau. I want the island to Dr. Brain.
It's happening.
So do you guys think that this is do you think we're going to see this stuff any sooner now that it's sort of its own thing?
5 to 10.
They'll have to be more public with it, and maybe they'll get more coverage. Instead of just being a Google project, they'll be their own project, and it'll be up for, them to make results that the scientific community can recognize. So I mean, The Verge has its own science division, and there are other companies that, media companies that have their own, that they cover the science beat. So.
Are they the V?
No, I can't remember what it's called.
Oh. Because that would be good. Maybe Google just give The Verge a bunch of money, call them the V, and now Google's new media division will be P. I mean, for podcasts, obviously.
It would be the V division, so it'd be VD.
Right. And it would be on all the badges.
Be everywhere.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Then there'll be a new sub-company that'll take over VD. It'll be STD.
I like it.
Then eventually you'll start seeing, the STD clinics around the country. Not that there aren't any now.
And the band will be called STP, and also an oil. Very good.
It's called Verge Science. Verge Science. That's what it was.
Does Google own the scientific community at this point?
No, but I'm sure they want to make inroads into it. So.
That's cool.
Yeah. Well, and if they're gonna do all this stuff, they're gonna have to get FDA approval. Like, there's gonna be a lot of things, and I wonder if it being a separate company makes it a lot easier to navigate all those legal waters when they're not having to run everything up a giant chain. That makes sense.
It sure does, and it releases them as, well, the parent company probably from a lot of potential liability if one of these, let's say, nanorobots were to go on and bring in the gray goo apocalypse.
Mm. Or if your smart contact lenses eat your eyes out, that's not eating into YouTube profits.
One misaligned laser beam right to the retina, and it's LASIK times 10, buddy. It's all over.
I can see the future.
I saw the future until I got my eyes adjusted, and now I can't see shit.
And for those of you that are playing the AOTA home game, go ahead and feel free to email us every time we use a three-letter acronym to describe a government organization. I believe we have now set a record for acronyms in the first 2 minutes of the show.
I'm going to go ahead and nope that, and I'm going to replace it with you just go ahead and email Joey. Email him all your three-letter acronyms. Eric, do you believe that division is going to be using privacy-centric black phones, or perhaps even black phone 2s?
That transition of a master, folks. I don't know that they will be, but they should be to protect your personal data.
That transition was like shifting from fifth to first when dropping the clutch. Good Lord. Anyway.
Very good. Yeah, so as Matt alluded to, ever so deftly, the folks over at Silent Circle have announced a new black phone is coming out, a successor to the original black phone, the Black Phone 2. It's it has an octa-core processor, 3 gigs of RAM, 32 gigabytes of storage, and a micro SD card.
Not to mention an incredibly creative naming scheme.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wonder what the next one's going to be called.
I'm taking bets on the Black Phone 3, folks, right here. Who wants to start a pool? Holy crap.
You seen this yet? I can try to pull up a picture. It looks kind of like the old black phone.
Yeah, it's a little, I'm going to say tame. Like, it doesn't have a very stylish design. I mean, obviously, that's not what they're going for, but they're not trying to cater to, like, a design-centric audience. It's pretty pretty neutral.
You don't want to call attention to the device.
Yeah.
That's a primary. You don't want this to have a neon green case and come out in day glow orange and crap. Here, take a look at my ultra high security phone. You might want to look at mine. Here, steal my phone. Obviously, this is not something you want to call attention to. So the design reflects that.
Yeah, it's about as nondescript as you can get, but the specs are pretty decent. The original black phone was also pretty decent in terms of specs. So I mean, it's not flagship in every area, obviously, but it's it's a decent modern mid-range kind of phone. So
yeah, here's my concern though, because I've used the original black phone. It was really cheap build quality, and I look at this and I don't know if this is because the original one was like from Geek's Phone or something. I think that's what it was based on. And the build quality just sucked. There were a lot of bugs too in the operating system. You get really weird things, especially around audio. You get random reboots.
How was the phone? How was the phone for updates, for like operating system updates? Do you know if it ever updated offhand?
This is a phone that you do not pay attention to, like the little like numbers like 4.4 or 5.1. You don't pay attention to that anymore. The only updates that you're going to get are going to be, it'll be like Private OS 1.2b. Like this is like your update cycle is going to be around vulnerabilities versus features, which makes sense. It's just that it's, I don't know, when the phone kind of sucks and when you don't have access. I think they've fixed this since I've used it, but you really didn't have access to an app store unless you sideloaded like the Amazon App Store, and even then, like shit just got buggy really quick.
Well, I mean, I guess this is one of those phones that you buy, like you say, not for features. You buy this for security. I don't see this being, you know, the phone that everybody and his brother is clamoring and standing in line to get. On the other hand, this, with the possible exception of build quality being a determining factor, if you can keep the cost down, this would be the phone that employers buy for their employees.
But not only that, they want to make a profit too, to where they can come out with the Black Phone 3. So, you know, I think as long as it's good enough in enough of the areas, you know, it can find an audience. But you know, like no one wants to buy a poorly built phone. So.
Like it or hate it, I mean, the phones are a product, and a product has to make sense for a market.
Yeah.
And you know, you can't be, if everyone's selling $300 widgets, you can't offer a $400 widget without having an additional, you know, value, bunch of performance or whatever or value in that widget. So you know, if you're taking and putting all your money into the software, and you need to hit a price point, maybe you have to cheap on the hardware. Do you remember, Eric, was it anything specific that you remember being a problem, or was it just an overall feeling?
No, it was random reboots. The phone itself, like the feel, like the plastic, everything seemed kind of crappy. The screen wasn't like there. It could have been software related, but it didn't feel as responsive as it should have. It was just. Here's my thing: is that like if you buy a subscription to Silent Circle for the three main things. If you buy a subscription, I think the phone comes with like 2 or 3 years for free. So if you take the cost of that subscription times 2 or 3, it equaled the cost of the phone, or you know, like you're getting the phone for free. So I get that. To me, it just seems like, so if you have somebody who does not have a phone, yeah, go for it. Give it to them. If all they're going to be doing is making phone calls and texting, then yeah, you just got a free phone that is very secure, that they can use those, you know, those handful of Silent Circle apps, you know, completely and nothing else. If you have an employee that has a phone, just get them the subscription and they can download the app. It makes a lot more sense than buying this phone, I think, unless they need a phone itself.
Oh, there is that. Speaking of free phones or phone pricing, did we see this note in here about Amazon dropping the Fire Phone pricing to $130?
Joey, Amazon could drop the Fire Phone price to give me $105, and I still wouldn't buy it.
Yeah. Well, I was just thinking, take that there, segue, Matt.
No, good. I actually had a couple questions about the Black Phone, so I would say.
All right, fine. Just screw up my segue.
No, you already done. They were done.
But I love the headline here on Android Central. Amazon drops the Fire Phone price to $130, but you likely still aren't interested.
No.
Yep. I'm still basically not interested. Now, I will say this though: if I didn't already have a Prime subscription, which is $99 for a year, and they throw that in with the 1-year phone, that means I just got, they throw in a 1-year subscription with the phone. So that would mean I just got a phone for $30. That would interest me. But I already have Prime, so that's kind of a non-issue for me personally. I
think the Prime would stack. I think you could get it, and then it would add a year to your current subscription, if I remember right.
Oh, maybe. Well, if that was the case, then that would be, a decent thing. But still, if I remember correctly, well, let me back up. My perception is that the Amazon Fire phones have not done very well, but the tablets have done outstandingly well.
Yep.
And I think it's because people are giving them to their kids. And they're, letting the kids take it and saying, okay, here's the $79 6-inch tablet, and if you bust it, then I'm out $79.
Yeah, the pricing was aggressive, whereas the Fire phone, the pricing was absurd. It was like $600 or something like that initially, and that was enough to put a lot of people off. Plus, it had like a 720p screen and had decent specs, but I don't think it was any better than like the Nexus 5, for example. You could pick up one of those for $350 about that time. So
I'm really considering just buying this. It's a $30. I mean, at this point, it's a $30 phone that you like. I could give this if my my in-laws are visiting. They're gonna need a phone. Here, have a phone. Tell you.
Yeah. Well, also in this article it mentions
they're actually out of stock right now, by the way.
In the article it mentions you can put CM11 on it, so that would be kind of cool. So if you want to play around with CM11 but not have it on your daily driver, that'd be something to do. So.
Did you say CM11?
CM11.
CM11, that's right.
I don't know what OS that is, but I'm interested.
Yes, CyanogenMod, but yeah.
I gotta say, like, the only thing I'm even relatively close to being interested in as far as Amazon hardware is, like, the Kindle reader.
Yeah.
All their other stuff. The tablets, I mean, I get it, like, for kids and stuff, they're good. They're kind of more disposable. Like, that e-reader, though, I love it. Like, it goes everywhere with me.
Plus, it's really light, yeah.
Like, in my bag. But all their other hardware, even, like, the dashboard stuff, I don't know. I'm just maybe I'm not the right demographic for it, but it just seems like meh.
Yeah, so I'm looking at the phone just for overview specs. 2.2 quad core, 2 gigs RAM, 4.7-inch HD display, 13 megapixel camera.
It's
unlimited free cloud storage for photos.
Yeah, it's comparable to like the Moto G in terms of pricing, So, I mean, it's not that it doesn't have a market. It's just you're still bound to, the Fire OS or whatever they're calling it, So.
Yeah.
I've noticed that. Go ahead, Joey.
I was going to say, in my case, the real downside, you're limited to AT&T and T-Mobile and Sprint. No, not Sprint. Excuse me. Yeah. AT&T and T-Mobile, all GSM. So in my area, GSM coverage is basically, there isn't any. So.
Yeah. I've noticed that my friends that get Amazon Fire stuff, and one of them might be listening, so I apologize. It's nothing, he's more of an iPhone guy, but like
stuff for free, friend. God.
It's sort of become like, especially the Fire tablets have become the second choice for to an iPad. Like, I don't want to spend hundreds of dollars on an iPad. I will get the Fire tablet. And for people that aren't very technically savvy, the Fire OS it's easy. They can get their email, they can check news. You could make an argument that Nexus tablets they're not any more difficult, but if you're already in the Amazon ecosystem, for a lot of people it's just a really easy transition.
Yeah, like my family here, we have probably 4 or 5 of those tablets. We've purchased a couple bargain basement cheap tablets for the girls, but they were so cheap that they basically didn't last. So what we did was, we just kept buying Amazon tablets over time, and so that's what they're using. So they use them still today. So I mean, they are priced aggressively. They have enough features. We're already in the ecosystem. We all share the same account. That's my wife's account, and she just locks down their tablets to some extent, and that's how we've been doing it here in this house.
Well, I mean, it works for you, and that's the thing is that when you get inside the Amazon world, things work well. When you get inside the Google world, things work well. If you stay inside the Apple world, things work well. It's only when you start trying to break out of a circle and join another circle that you have a problem. And for me personally, I have so much both time and actually money invested in apps on the Play Store that I don't necessarily want to give up my ability to get to the Google Play Store, which you don't have by default on the Fire OS. On the flip side, one thing I do like, because I do have Amazon Prime, I have access to the Amazon Prime Video Library, and I can't get that on my Android phone right now under any circumstances. They don't even offer it. It's like the one feature that you cannot get. I can get music, I can get my audiobooks, I can get my Kindle Reader, you know, all that stuff. That's all fine. But the second you want to start doing the Amazon Video, they will not allow that to happen.
So, interesting.
Yeah, they've kept it tight hold for a while, but even now, like they released it for Android TV. Like you can get the Amazon Video outside of Amazon products like nowadays, but it didn't used to be the case. I haven't tried it on the tablet or phone recently though. So.
Oh, by the way, you are correct. If you are already a Prime member and you buy this phone, you get an additional year of Prime, and it will work. And you can buy up to 3 Fire phones. And no! I'm sorry. There's no limit. No limit.
It's amazing.
You buy more devices, you get more years. That's it. So I guess the one way to look at this would be you get a $130 phone, you extend your Prime for a year, you're getting a $30 device that's kind of small, ish, and even if you never used it as a phone, you spent $30 and you got a mini tablet.
And pass those around.
Yeah, I don't think it's not a bad deal. I'm hovering over the place order button because the reality is I do have in-laws that come and visit, and they're going to be visiting in a few weeks, and I'm thinking, I can get them this phone, and they use it, and then they go away. Like, it may not be a bad deal. I'll have to think about it maybe after the show. Since we're on the Amazon kick, did you guys see the news about Amazon Underground, and would somebody like to explain to me what the hell Amazon Underground is?
I don't have a flippin' clue. I was reading this earlier, and I'm trying to figure this out. It looks like a Amazon App Store on steroids, in that they're...
Yeah, I think all the apps are free in that market, but I don't know the details about it too much. But yeah.
Yeah, but not only they're free, but the professional versions are free. So it's not just the free versions like in the App Store, but I honestly don't know what the big difference is, and I'm tempted to find out. $10,000 in apps.
So if you go on to here, Joey, while you're looking at that, Nick, if you go onto the Amazon website, and I'll pull this up, you get this. You get this really weird, it's like a letter, like somebody's kidnapped your dog, and it's here. Let's share that screen.
Yeah, I'm reading it right now. So here we go. Normally you would, so normally if you go and pay for an app, now instead they're paying by the minute played. And they're paying that fee directly to the developer, so the developers are then waiving their initial purchase fee.
Yeah.
So this isn't even pay as you go. This is Amazon paying them as you go.
It's free as you go, apparently.
It's similar to what they were talking about doing, and I don't know if they started doing it, where they're paying some authors, they're getting paid by how many pages you read of the book. So the book is free to the consumer, but Amazon pays the author based on how many pages that you read. I'm not so sure that this translates to a better experience for developers. For consumers, free's free. That's pretty cool. But what I don't understand, I'll throw out 2 things I don't understand. One, so what happens to the Amazon App Store? Is it on the chopping block? Is it deprecated? And the second question is, if you look in this letter, it says where's the thing? It's something about Google. Maybe they removed it. It said something like Google does not allow apps. Oh, here we go. Normally you'd go to Google Play to download an Android app onto your phone, but Google's rules don't allow an app that offers apps or games to be included in Google Play. So you need to download the Underground app directly from Amazon.com. I mean, how's that any different from the App Store? Like, it's like a really weird thing to put in the letter. So why is that in there, and what happens to the App Store? Those are my questions. Nick, go.
Yeah, didn't they have an? Yeah, they had an App Store they tried putting on Google Play a while back. This does sound like it's something similar. Is this in the Google Play Store itself, or you just download it?
No, it is. It is not in the Google Play Store. Neither can you get it in the Google Play Store. You have to enable unknown packages. Same, by the way, for the. As I recall, same for the Amazon App Store, because I don't think you can get that through the Google Play Store either.
It's the exact same.
Yeah, so I'm actually downloading it right now.
I guess they're incentivizing. I guess they're incentivizing people to try it. So.
It just seems like a weird. Go ahead, Nick.
I was going to say, and since you're downloading straight from them, not from APK Jungle or some crazy website, you know.
Well, that is the good thing. Like, this is one of the few instances where it makes sense for the normal consumer to check that unknown sources box. But, I mean, still, it's a really odd move to me. I don't understand it. I guess you can have, like, you know, here's the Underground app for everything free, and then you have the App Store for people that want to, like, actually buy products.
Well, here's the thing. What happens if developer X decides to pull program or app Y from the store because they're not getting paid enough because most people aren't going to they're not getting enough out of it, in other words. So they just pull the app out of the Underground store. So now you've lost it. But if you buy it through the store, you own it, or you own a copy of it.
Yeah, I mean, that is... I feel like this sort of goes with this trend that I really don't like, which is this, like, it's like this idea, this economy of the consumer never owning anything.
Yeah.
You know, like, I don't own my music. I just rent it from Spotify. Like, forget that. Like, that's ridiculous. Like, this is why I still buy CDs.
Yeah, or you have digital downloads for games, for example. But if that, you know, environment where you bought it goes bust, how do you get your software? You know, you don't have a hard copy of it. So yeah.
Oh my sweet Lord! I think I just lost my reason to buy a Fire phone. They are now directing me through the Amazon Underground app to the Prime Instant Video app, which would allow me to watch my Amazon Prime Instant Videos on my normal Android phone.
Cool.
Hello, Caesar.
Well, there you go.
So I'll tell you what, if this works, I am going to be incredibly excited. I may even do a small dance.
Hopefully off camera.
Fully clothed.
I'm assuming you're wearing pants. Okay, good.
And they're not pajama pants either.
Oh, good.
Not that there's anything wrong with that.
Well, there was a lot of, you know, I'm trying to remember back. I was reading up on this last night when I was collecting the stories that, like, even back in the heyday of, like, Amazon's free app of the day, like, there were like some people, and I think it was Pocket Casts, the podcasting app, like, there was a lot of, like, consternation between them and Amazon, because what it came down to is when they put their app up for free, like, they were under the impression, like, they would still get some money, and instead, like, they didn't get anything from Amazon. And if you look, like, they posted their numbers, like, you know, if you remove Amazon's cut, they would be... Joey, goddammit, mute the mic. If you remove Amazon's cut, then you could then they would have made like $50,000, and they didn't get any of that. So I mean, this I don't know, like, if I wrote an app that I would put it in the Amazon App Store.
Yeah.
Oh, and additionally, like, they were not able to what weren't they able to do? They were not able to remove the app from the App Store without, like, writing Amazon for permission. Like, it was one of the only app stores, if not the only app store, that did not let developers themselves remove the app from the store.
Interesting.
Now I feel terrible because I don't know how to unmute Joey.
Okay, so now that I've unmuted myself, for those that didn't overhear, that was actually the okay, I'll just say it. That was the introduction to Buffy the Vampire Slayer. I have never actually watched it. It was just, for some reason, one of the options that popped up on Amazon Video, so I just hit that one. Okay, here. Something I don't care about. Let's play that. And it does work. So I now have Amazon Instant Video on my standard Android phone, and I am now a happy man. And I will do a off-camera happy dance at some point. But so it looks like they've actually got this set up with an underground apps section, a specific thing, and it looks like there are normal paid apps in here that are, that they're just bypassing the in-app purchases. So I guess the question would be also, okay, fine, so I'm bypassing my in-app purchases, but if I ever take that experience out of Underground, do my purchases follow me? Probably not.
Probably not.
So this is one of those things, and right now I don't believe they're restricting this. Underground appears to be free to everybody.
Yeah.
But
well, maybe for a limited time,
what happens if it becomes a Prime benefit?
Yeah.
For instance. So now you've got to have Prime, so that's their revenue stream.
Just think of this as a promotion. This is likely just another way of getting people into the Amazon ecosystem, getting more registrations, more stuff like that. So they're trying to find ways to inject, more users into their system. So
exactly.
Free's good, but I kind of feel like it cheapens Amazon's image a little bit when it's like, the all-free app store. I don't like. It doesn't entice me, and maybe I'm the weird case, but I'm one of the people, I don't mind paying for an app if it's like, I'm not gonna like,
if it's a good app, and that's the thing, developers will tend to make good apps if they can get profit from it, so they'll put that extra bit in order to get more people to buy it. So
yeah, I'm looking actually through here, and a lot of these are just, very, very, some of them are already free, some of them are, so they're just eating the in-game purchases. Some of them are older apps that appear to possibly maybe run their course. Angry Birds Space has been out for what? Oh, geez. 5-6 years?
It's been a year and a half. No, Space hasn't been that long. Space has been like maybe a year and a half or 2 years.
Okay. They've got that. They've also got Angry Birds Rio. But I mean, it's stuff that may or may not be, new and woo, type thing. Ooh, Sonic. Yay, Sonic the Hedgehog. Nice.
Well, very good. While Joey's playing with his new Amazon Underground app, I don't know, Nick, what do you want to talk about?
Let's see. Kush, he just released a new, well, I don't know if he's released the app itself, but he's got a project that he's working on that allows you to, I think, share like the screen of the phone that you're on, and also do things like ADB on it and stuff like that. Let me see if I can pull it up. It's a blog post that he made.
Oh, the Visor Share thing that's in here?
Yeah, remote screen and ADB access. It looks pretty cool. He's got a little 2-minute video on his blog, on his Google Plus post where he gives a brief tour of it. It looks pretty cool.
Indeed.
I wish we had Shane on tonight, because that would be our resident developer geek. Would give us an interesting perspective on this. But I think that this is one of those. There's been several different emulators out there that have run Android on your PC, blah blah blah, and not all of this stuff ever really has a real world, reason for existence. But maybe just maybe, this will be the one that people really go to for whatever reason.
Yeah, Visor Share. It says here you share your device to another Visor user. Yeah, so like you want to share your screen, you basically get a URL or URL, whatever you want to call it, a URL. You email that to someone, and they can essentially look at what you're showing on screen. So that's kind of cool. Or you can email it to yourself, and then view it on your PC, whatever's going on your tablet or phone or whatever. So.
Well, if you're developing the app yourself, it's it might be somewhat convenient, I guess. Because I mean, like for me, I make a change, I upload it, and then I just I look at the phone, I see how it works. But for Kush, what he was talking about, the impetus of this being developed was that he would make these apps, and he would do private betas with friends, but then he would also spread it out across the world to people. And if there's a problem and you're trying to tell somebody okay, can you get me the ADB log? Can you can I see what it becomes a big problem. So in this instance, that person could just send him a link, and he not only can look at the screen and manipulate the phone, but he also has ADB access. So for him, and for a lot of developers too, from a development standpoint, especially when you're dealing with remote teams, this makes it easier for the developer themselves to actually access a device that is not physically with them.
Yeah. And it also allows friends to see and troubleshoot and help. And if I was developing an app, I could share this out to you, Eric, and you could give me feedback, or you, Nick, or whoever, or you could actually have a friend of yours, help you with some code. So yeah, it's collaborative. It's a tool to allow collaborative coding on a mobile platform, which I think is quite interesting. But I don't think it's something that everyone's going to use.
Yeah, but probably not.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, speaking to your earlier point, Nick, did you know that they had a TV show about websites?
What show is that?
My name is Earl.
Boom, boom.
Fuck's sake.
Anyway. And
all right, Joe, your turn. Pick something.
All right, well, let's throw a little bit of a monkey wrench in the works. Top of the show notes, Chromebook passes iPad, gains on Windows in U.S. education market. Threw this in. This actually came out yesterday on Petrie, and it was a very interesting little statistic. I know that Android and Chrome aren't exactly the same thing. They're kind of like the evil step twins, but Chromebooks are apparently making a huge dent in the United States educational hardware market, and this was not something that I was aware of. I just didn't hear about it, I guess.
Well, they're cheaper than iPads. In some cases, they're significantly cheaper than iPads. Even with discounts that Apple's somewhat discounts that they've been giving on the iPads, they're still a lot cheaper. They more resemble a computer, and there's a variety of different models out there, and some of them are more designed from the get-go, to be aimed for that kind of environment. So, they're very easy to take apart and put back together, to service and stuff like that. So,
I still don't feel that. And now, granted, I used to do customer service for a company that did children's toys, so my perception is slightly skewed by that. But I don't think that every child has the same experience with a touchscreen, but I think that every child would have the same experience with a keyboard, because the keyboard is there. It's physical; they can see it.
Yeah.
A touchscreen, it's kind of ambiguous. You have to touch it in the right manner, and if you aren't familiar with how to work it, it may or may not give you the result. It could both be easier and also more frustrating.
Well, one baseline activity that everyone does on those notebooks, regardless of what they're doing, is they're using the keyboard, they're learning how to type. And a lot of kids learning that ability gives them an edge up when they go out to the real world. They don't have to learn it on their own. They can learn it at school in addition to whatever they do. So that's always a good thing.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I can pick up a good 10-inch, 11-inch Chromebook in the vicinity of $250. That's retail.
Yep.
I'm trying to think. An iPad, if I remember correctly, you're not going to find one for anything under $400.
Yeah,
anywhere.
there are some Chromebooks you can pick up at Walmart, like there's one by Huawei, which is like $150, $160, and it's a fully functioning, brand new notebook that you pick up at Walmart. So
If you want the legit Chromebook experience, you want, like, I always recommend those Asus ones that are on Amazon. If you get the ones, they're cheap, and you can get them with like 4 gigs of RAM, and you can get them. They have the x86 processor.
Yeah.
You find yourself not, being able to live in Chrome on it, you can do the Ubuntu thing or whatever. But dude, ever since I got that thing, like I do the majority of my weed reviews, all of that stuff is like done in the living room on my Chromebook. Like cool. I come back to the desk to Windows basically to do Photoshop, and that's it really at this point. Record podcasts, but
I'm very happy with my Samsung Chromebook for what it's worth, but I'm running just the straight Chrome OS.
Same here. I've got an Acer one that I picked up 2+ years ago for a couple $100. I ended up, because it was upgradable, I added a 64 gig SSD. It was using like 320 gig, just a standard drive. It's got like 7-second boot up time, and it's been running like a champ for 2 years. So there's some longevity to it as well, and the operating system updates. It doesn't get slower over time. So, I mean, there's a lot of advantages to going with one. They're very simple and easy to use. Troubleshooting, is not bad.
For my mom, like it was the best thing I've ever gotten her.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
If you take the power wash, like that is the best. Whenever and you log back in, and there's all your stuff again. Like it is so good. What, Eric?
Google is actually discounting discounting Chromebooks for schools. There's a Google for Education, and they can get Chromebooks and tablets starting at $149 plus $30. I think they said for management and support, whatever the hell that means. But I mean, they're not even paying retail.
Is that via Hangouts? Are they doing like what was that service they discontinued? Help Out?
Help Out.
Help Out.
Yeah.
That wasn't doing very well. Yeah.
I'm looking through here. It doesn't say up front, like on the homepage, what that actually means. But I mean, this is the page that if you were the IT administrator for a school, like this is the page you would go to. You can click on the big button that says "Get devices for your school," and you can buy them. Like Google is specifically targeting schools with this. And one thing I'm curious about, though, and I doubt that they have put out numbers on it, is are all of these Chromebooks running? Like, are these kids running it in guest mode, or are they actually creating accounts?
Oh, interesting. How much?
That's actually good.
Numbers, right? How is that? And also for class, we're all going to need Google Plus accounts because we're using communities, right? Like the last effort to get some use out of their social.
Well, and it's like if you look at Google's like policies, the minimum age to get an account, like in general, like obviously Wallet is like you have to be 18, but like for a Google account, just a plain vanilla Google account, it's 13. And I'm sure there are schools out there that have kids running these where the kids are not 13.
It seems like schools is a different section. I would imagine they have their own privacy policy that pretty much puts the onus of responsibility on the school administrator, I guess. If it's your school you're administering. I don't know.
Maybe.
I'm just making up words at this point.
Making up words. I love it.
Imagine as the IT guy there at the school, like no more ghosting machines. I mean, of course, you probably still have your computer lab, right? This is for take-home.
But I see here, it says here in one of these articles, parents can set up a new user account for each child and remotely monitor web activity. So there's probably more to it. Maybe the parents need to sign off on it and stuff like that. So.
Well, and it is, too, a good way to monitor the activities. I mean, as long as you don't get into Creepyville like that one school, but they were, like, watching their students and said that one of them was doing drugs, and, like, he's
turning
like,
the camera on.
And it was,
wow.
You creepy assholes, why were you watching me? Yeah.
Well, it looks like the $30 management license gives you access to a web-based console where you can, like, do some device management through.
Looks like
so
there's
I guess that's $30. boxes.
It says here configuring supervised users on a Chromebook. So it looks like some feature like that. This is from an older article, but it looks like there's probably some guest, as you mentioned, accounts on the actual Chromebook itself, and that's what they're using.
It's still cool though. I like it. Let's talk about this for a minute. The new Verizon Hum. First of all, worst name ever. Second of all, is this? And I know it's not like what we've been seeing with all of these smart cars getting hacked and having their brakes not work and their accelerators not, that whole thing. But for someone that, like, I just got a car and it doesn't have Bluetooth, and I put a Bluetooth deck in the Neon, but of course I didn't get it out to put it in this new car, so it's like, this would kind of be a cool thing to have. I don't think I would pay $15 a month for it. I would just buy a Bluetooth thing once and be done with it. Like, I'm already paying $8 a month, which isn't much for Google Music. I mean, for what they give. Like, I'm not going to pay a bunch of other services. Buying a car, don't ever put your email address on the paperwork because they will spam you and they will call you and you will get so much crap. I didn't realize. I got Sirius satellite radio calling, being like, I'm all excited thinking, here's the phone call. They're going to be like, hey, we love your shows. We want to put them on Sirius XM satellite radio. Oh, no. She's like, hey, did you know your car came with this and that? I'm like, click.
I don't think this is, like, the use that you're talking about, I don't think is what you're, like, you would not get this for that. Like, this is the OnStar replacement. This is not the...
No, this is something that you could hack into and mess up some stuff. I don't want this, then. I just want something that'll let play my phone and control it through the thing. I need Android.
Yeah, no, that's not this. That's not this.
Android Auto, it sounds like.
Yeah, that'd be good, too.
Yeah. The one cool thing about this, though, is like it has the OnStar features of incident alerts, roadside assistance, that sort of stuff. But it also incorporates car diagnostics. Like, that is cool, but it's not $15 a month cool.
No, because all of that stuff you can just watch a YouTube video, and even if you don't have a machine, there's like a way to flip ignition on and off to where it'll beep you the code, and then you can just go look it up, and that's free. I mean,
where you go to AutoZone and they plug the thing into the thing and they tell you what the code is.
Or that,
for free.
If your car is stuck and you need to know the code so you can Google it, so you can do something. Then
buy a AAA subscription. Like, get AAA. Don't get this.
Where it's at. Do they have an app? Because I would pick it.
Hold on a second. So last fall I bought a car off Craigslist with with the dashboard that looked like a Christmas tree. Okay, all these lights are on. So I go, oh crap. So I buy a ODB2 reader with software and a cable to hook into a laptop. The cable with software cost me a grand total of $40.
For the old school one.
Yeah, but why would I want to pay $15 a month?
Right.
Which that would be like
more than that, right? This is a GPS also, so Verizon can track you when you don't pay your bill. Rather than call you, we will disable your car. We will route our voice through the speakers, and we will say hello.
Well, there is a AAA mobile app, incidentally, now that we're talking about it.
Good find, Nick.
Good morning, Matt Lee. You have not your bill.
Your bill is due tomorrow.
Your car will be disabled if you do not pay your bill. We thank you for being a loyal customer.
They announced this in January, and it has an app for Android and iOS. If anyone is there, you do not have to be a Verizon customer to sign up. So.
But you will be once you do, I guess.
You will be once we take control over your vehicle and your phone. That makes sense.
This is I don't know. I can't think of who this is targeting. Like I would even.
It's not
maybe my grandma. I don't know. Like who's this? Who's this for?
Not gonna.
See, that's the thing is that this doesn't go for the grandmas. The grandmas drive it to the garage.
Yeah, this
not
is
mine. Sheepo.
But she's not going to install an app and then, I don't know, maybe.
When that car starts working, that's it. She's done. No.
Does this do remote start or anything like use? And even at
It
that
is a Bluetooth speaker.
the subscription model is not anything people are used to in this regard, right? Like, you never have to pay it monthly except for, like I was saying earlier, Sirius satellite radio. Like, this isn't, I don't know, man.
This is a small incursion. This is them testing the boundaries to see what can we get stupid people to pay us consistently for.
For $15 a month and $13 for any additional vehicles, Verizon will send you a two-piece kit with a built-in GPS that can help law enforcement find you or your stolen vehicle or point you towards your last parking spot. Hey, Verizon, you know what else already does this? It's called Google Now. And it's free. Weird.
Okay. One thing though. If the ODB2 plug is plugged in, and that's where the GPS is located, which I'm kind of assuming, this could get you a discount on your car insurance.
Yeah, because it's going to be a black box and send them all your driving info, like, oh, hey, did you know this kid doesn't wear his seatbelt and he disabled the alarm in his car so he can continue not wearing his seatbelt?
Did you know Matt did 55 and 50?
Did you know I
safe.
drive 55? And Matt listens to awful music when he is.
No, but what I meant was, Sammy Hagar references notwithstanding.
I detected nicotine being smoked in that vehicle. We better talk to his health insurance provider. Oh, weird. It's the same provider. That is so helpful. Thank you.
Okay, welcome to Matt Lee's Paranoia podcast.
I ain't paranoid about it. I just think this is a terrible thing, and no one should ever...
My point was... Whoa.
In your car. They should pay you money each month to keep this piece of shit in your car. That's what it is.
What I'm trying to tell you, though, is that if you put a GPS-enabled tracking device in the car, you might get a discount on your car insurance because it would be easier to recover in the event of theft. I am not trying to make Matt get annoyed and leave the studio, which apparently he has done. Yes, a record. That's twice tonight, folks.
He dropped the mic. He's just looking for it.
Sure he did. Yeah.
I'm just saying, this is America. I don't need Big Red watching Big Brother, okay? One or the other. Come on.
America. The F yeah. Anyway, moving on. Okay, so dumb idea for $15 a month. That's the consensus of Attack of the Androids.
Yeah, Verizon would have to pay us $15 a month. First impressions of the Moto X Play, I am getting a little bit excited. Not too much, but just a little bit, just because, you know, my upgrade may be coming up soon. Gonna have to switch lines, upgrade the one line, right, and then switch it back so that I continue with my unlimited plan. Thank you, Verizon.
Yeah, the thing I like about this, so the X-Play isn't coming to the States, but it looks like Verizon's going to have the Droid Max 2. And one thing I've always liked about the Droid Max is good battery life.
Too big.
It is pretty big, though. So
I can't. It needs to fit in this. See this right here? This pocket right here. Do you see this? This right here fits. Boom. Perfect. Yeah. Where's my phone? Oh, hey, it's right there. Boom. I'll tell you what, if that phone doesn't fit in that pocket, I'm not getting it.
No. It's going to be a little bit of a bigger phone, but yeah.
And the second-gen Moto X is brand new. That's all.
Now, Matt, did you look at the second story related to the Moto X Play? How when it comes to the U.S. it will be the Droid Max 2 on Verizon.
What? And that's too big.
What's too big? What's wrong?
The phone is too big.
It's 5.5 inches, which is not. Now, how much is? Hold on. How big is the original Moto X?
This is as big as it can be. See this? As big as it can be.
Okay. Hold on. Moto X first gen size. Let's see here. Let's see how big that guy is.
4.9?
Is it 4.9? I don't know.
The G-Nex was 4.7.
No, it's 5.
Is it 5? Okay,
it's like
so 5 is. Ooh.
So it's just a little more. Come on, just not even another inch, Matt Lee. We just want less than an inch more in your pants.
This is 5.5. This is 5.5. This is 5. This is 5.5. No, too big.
I'm just saying.
Big. Just gonna rip my pocket.
Something like that.
Burst out the sides and shit. It's just too big.
Okay, so it is the... Actually, you know, I looked at it. It is the exact same size as the Moto X 2nd Gen.
Ooh, so if I do revert to that, then I might as well, right? Because it's also too fucking big.
Don't be a girl. Just...
So the screen on Matt's phone is 4.7 inches, and the screen on this is 5.5.
That's the difference, bro. That's too big.
Attack of the Androids, the only podcast online where you'll find guys complaining about it being too big.
Nick, where are you seeing that it's 4.7? Because I'm looking at Scoop, and it says 5.
It's like
okay, so there were different versions of the Moto X. The very first Moto X is the one that Matt has.
Yes.
And it has a 4.7-inch screen. The second Moto X that came out, that had a 5-inch screen.
It's the same size as the G-Nex, and that's why it's perfect.
Oh.
Yeah, the reason I remembered that is because I had the Nexus 4, and it has the same size. Well, 4.8 as opposed to 4.7, but roughly the same resolution. So.
Oh, yeah, I'm talking about the phone. I was looking at the phone dimensions. My bad.
Yeah, but they are close, but that is probably about a centimeter taller, I would bet. I'd have to look at the specs, the comparison, but.
I could definitely squeeze 1 more centimeter in there if I had to. I wouldn't like it. It'd be uncomfortable. Already, I have to adjust my pocket when I've been down with this because sometimes the way it sits in my pocket, it will hold the power button down, which will then, of course, cause...
That's no bueno.
The more you know. But I'll tell you what, it would be nice having 1.7 gigahertz Adreno 405 GPU 550 megahertz. It would be nice, Eric. You know what this has? Not that. This has... coming off the back of it. You see that? Not bulletproof anymore, Eric. This used to be...
But you know what it does have, Matt?
What?
It has that fun screen, and that only turns on the pixels that...
I need that, because this has that. And
yeah, that has that too.
You need that. And a 21 megapixel camera! That's pretty dope.
You know, one thing you might consider...
21 megapixels on a phone with the size of the sensor is so ridiculously overkill. Just saying.
Or awesome.
It's a statistic. It's meaningless. You put that many megapixels on that size sensor, the ability for it to work in situations other than pure, raw, unadulterated high daylight gets so much smaller because the sensor gets noisier. So any kind of daylight or any kind of night or any kind of off-brand lighting where you're shooting into a shadow or something like that, those shadows will tend to get noisier because there's more receptors packed into a smaller area. So it doesn't help the photography. It can actually make it worse.
Are we sure that it doesn't have a bigger sensor to accommodate? It does f.0. It does burst mode. It has night mode, Joey. Okay? Night mode.
That doesn't necessarily mean that the sensor's any bigger. It just may mean that they have a different interpretation of software.
Why do they never list the sensor? So annoying.
Because it's an unsexy statistic.
No, because it needs to be sexy. If we make it sexy, you guys do that every night at the Smartphone Photographer Hangout. I know you do.
Well, I make every hangout I'm in sexy.
That is also true. Did you see my last picture?
Yes, I did. That reminds me. Tomorrow when you go into work, get one of the whole truck.
That's right. I'm going to remember that tomorrow when you remind me.
Again.
Again. I know.
But yes, that's a quick little side plug for those that are interested. Smartphone Photographers. It's a Google community. You must apply for membership, but you can find it on Google+.
So
Smartphone Photographers.
Why is this only 2 gigs of RAM?
That is kind of low.
Okay, so here's the reason. The reason why is it is a mid-range model. It's not a flagship. It's supposed to be relatively inexpensive.
What is their flagship, Nick? Point me in the direction of the flag, please.
It's the Moto X style. That's their top end. That's their flagship.
Where? Show me. Moto Style?
Yeah, Moto X style is their flagship.
First name? Who are they paying for these?
This is the fucking Chinese bought it. Now there's stupid names.
China, you make such good things sometimes, depending on what it is.
So the way it used to be is Motorola, they had essentially 3 types of flagship type phones.
Is the X pure or the X style?
Ooh, style.
Why do they do this?
Yeah, the Moto X Pure is the current one. That's
Yeah.
like the unadulterated, unlocked.
The reason, the unlocked version is the pure one you'd buy from them. So
look at it, it's beautiful.
Yeah, that's their new flagship that replaces the 2014 Moto X.
It's made out of wood. This is 2015. I don't want phones made out of old shit. I need phones made out of adamantium. Would be nice.
Oh, don't worry. It's just a veneer over a plastic thing.
Cool.
It's like the wood on your station wagon.
Is it going to do what this is doing? Yeah, you see that veneer?
Probably.
Peeling right off. That's nice.
Well, you can still use Moto Maker and get a different, case design for it. There are different types of cases for it. That's why,
I am not pleased. If I can't have a phone last at least 3 years before this starts happening, I mean, what are we doing? Really, as humanity, what the F are we even doing? Yeah. What is that, Eric? What is going on here?
It's a gelatin-like case.
What?
A TPU case.
I like it.
I was told that the Kevlar on the back of the Moto X would not stop bullets if I put it in a case, so I never did. You know how many bullets this has stopped? None, thankfully.
It's terrible.
It ever
Do you
has.
have any idea how many bullets it would stop even if it was in the case?
Yeah, none. You have
exactly. So
to
why not put it in the case?
No, because it has to be out of the case to stop them. You're so confusing me. So this is cool. This even says, Joey, that with the 21 megapixel camera, you get crystal clear pictures even in low light. That's what it says.
Yeah.
Is that
that's what Motorola said.
Is it a
I
lot?
have standards that camera may not be able to meet. Just saying.
Really? It has an f-stop 2.0 aperture with phase detect autofocus PDAF. Yeah, what do you know about that? It has closed loop processing. That's awesome.
Yeah, you know what? Those pretty much all of them have that.
It has dual color correlated temperature flash. Yeah.
I also read English, Matt Lee.
I also. It has 4K video. I mean, if it has 4K video, that means it has some sort of a decent sensor, right? Or no?
Yes and no. I mean, it does obviously have that, but what's more impressive actually about the 4K is that it also has to have some wicked throughput from the camera onto its storage.
Like the bus?
Yeah, the bus speed is going to be pretty darn high because you can't. I mean, 1080p is one thing, but 4K is a whole nother level on the amount of data that you're saving. So if you're gonna.
Is it twice? What's the size difference?
Do
we know?
Actually, I don't know off the top of my head.
Okay. I mean, if 4K is 30 frames, they're saying 1080 is 60 frames that it'll do. Or
let's see.
It has a nano SIM card. That's cool. It also will take a slot, huh?
Yeah.
Bringing the slot back. What are you going to fill that slot with, Eric?
Anything I can.
RAM? Nope. ROM.
I'm not RAM in the slot. Are you kidding me?
It's
crazy.
It's ROM, bro. ROM.
I'm gonna ROM in the slot.
Even this one is only 3 gigs. Is that because at 4, it's because it's not a 64-bit system, or what? You can still use 4. You just can't use more than 4, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or is it only 3?
No, I think it was 4.
Yeah, 4 gigs.
Okay. That's interesting.
Okay. Oh, sorry. I just found the answer to your question. At 4K, which by the way is 4,096 pixels wide by 2,160 high, at 24 frame rates per second, interlaced, 12-bit color, that is. It's like just over 8 and almost 9 megapixels at one frame. Uncompressed size is 39.81 megabytes
per frame. So
per frame.
Wow.
So if you take
you're doing 30 frames a second. That's how many frames per minute, which is...
Well, I'll hold on a minute. I got it here for you. It's
do it.
3.82 gigabytes per second.
Wow.
That's some good...
So, yeah, I mean, that's just incredible. I mean, 1 second of uncompressed video is 455.6 megs. A minute is 26.7 gigabytes.
Now, are we assuming that this, because it says it does 4K, is pulling all of that, or is it doing some fancy compression?
It's doing some compression, it's doing compression, and usually these kind of apps will limit the amount of time you can actually even do videos. So even if you have the storage space for it, it'll limit to like 5.
Because that's all the buffer will handle.
Yeah, it just depends.
So you might only be able to store, say, I'll just throw this. You might be able to only store maybe 1 minute of 4K video before the buffer stops, and then you have to wait for it to process, dump the buffer, and store it.
So I've been told to get into Periscope. Now, is this the phone that's going to take my Periscope to the next level? Can you Periscope in 4K?
I don't know.
I have to look into that.
Yeah, you should try.
Whoa. And that's the gong, folks. Thank you very much for joining us. It's been another fantastic episode of Tag the Androids. Eric, what's your email address?
Our email address is show@attackoftheandroids.com.
That's what it was last week, Eric. What's the email address this week?
Our new email address is show@attackoftheandroids.com.
Fantastic. Attackoftheandroids.com is the website. We're on Stitcher. We're on iTunes. Follow us on Twitter, Google+, and Facebook, as well as all of the lovely nerds here in front of you. We're all on those social networks except for Nick, because Nowcast. We'll see you next week. Thanks for listening. Have a great day.